Okay, this is going to be a Facebook conversion account or conversion advertisement set up. And what we already have is we have an ad set running. Let me show you that ad set. So we currently have a campaign that's landing page traffic. The reason we did landing page traffic was we didn't have the ability to set up a conversion event when we first set this up. So landing page traffic goal, you can see here, campaign objective is traffic. So we're trying to, the goal Facebook has set is try to send traffic to a website page. And when you get into the actual ad set, you're going to see that at the bottom, it's going to be selected for landing page views as the optimization for ad delivery. So that means that Facebook is going to drive people that are actually going to hit the website and view it, right? Not bounce off right away. So they're actually going to look at it, read it. Now, I don't specifically know how much time is required to be on the website for that to count. One thing that does have to be on the website, though, is the Facebook pixel, right? So Facebook pixel has to be on the website for Facebook to understand that somebody landed on it and actually read it or stayed on it for a certain amount of time. So that's how we originally set it up, and we ran multiple ads. I'll show you an example of an ad with multiple sets of primary text, right? So we tried 3 different sets of primary text. All right, so now we're actually going to set up a conversion event because we have a new landing page created based on the results of this. So the results of this were not very good, but we looked at the original landing page, which was here. And one of the main issues we saw was there was no call to action button above the fold. So if you scroll down, you can actually see the call to action button way down here, which is very small. So we talked to the creator of this page, which is another firm, a partner, and they rebuilt the page into this, as you'll see here, where they send me the free book giant button, right at the top. And then we move into that kind of long form sales with another button here, another button here. So yeah, don't put the buttons after every section, make them look the same. That's the trick to these landing pages, to get people to click on that button to take that action, to let people know that's the action you want them to take. So the Facebook pixel is already installed, as we can see from our pixel helper here. And again, this is a Chrome extension that you can get, but it tells us exactly what the pixel is and that it's fired with a page view. Now we want to actually set it up to track this button click, right? That's going to be the conversion. So we want to drive people to hit the page and click the button. All right, so the first thing we want to do is go to our Events Manager. And we can see our pixel here. There is an issue saying it's sending traffic from a separate domain, which is Kartra, which is fine. We can actually ignore that because Kartra is like the landing page service that they're using. So and if the pixel code is embedded like in the Kartra software to distribute to that landing page, then Facebook may see that it's actually coming from Kartra.com, which is fine. We want to now add an event. So again, the pixel has already been installed. We set the pixel up, sent it to the client to install, and now we're going to add an event, and we're going to add it from the pixel. All right, so the pixel is installed in the website. So we're going to open up the setup tool. This makes it really easy. We're going to then grab our website URL, drop it here, and then we're going to open up the website. And now we'll see the Facebook pixel pop up right here. Now what we want to do is actually track a button, and this is the button we want to track, right? So send me the free book. This is going to be an add to cart button. And the value would be, I'm not going to include a value. And then make sure that's the same button. So now you can see that this little check mark is on all of these buttons. So basically saying anytime somebody clicks that button, it's going to check them out. Or it's going to record that, fire that pixel off and record that lead. So I'm going to confirm that. And I'm going to finish setup. And we've added to cart button, send me the free book. So it's basically just looking at that. It's looking at that text in the code, and it's realizing that that's a button. All right. So now we've set that up, initiate checkout. It looks like we've actually had three of those in the last 2 days. So that's great. We're already recording events. I do want to try to get to the checkout page. And the reason I say try is because we did this previously and it didn't work. And it's just got to be an issue with the Katra software. There's this pop-up. Let's track this too, which would be initiate checkout as well. So that way if they click on the pop-up, oops, I'm going to delete that. I meant to make that add to cart. Track button. Oh, it's not going to let me do that. So let's all right, let me go back because I've kind of messed it up here. Let me start this again. So open a website. Let's act like we're going to exit. We'll get the pop-up. And it looks like it's not going to let me do that again. Initiate checkout. Let's edit that. Oh, looks like we may be stuck. Initiate checkout. Add to cart. Okay, it looks like that's working, so that's fine. So let's finish that setup. So one thing I did want to try was I want to click on this button, right? I actually want to go to this page, and what I need that Facebook wizard to pop up right here, so I can actually record this URL. And if I went through and bought the book, I could actually see the exit, like thank you page, and we can record that URL as an actual purchase, but it's not letting me do that. So we potentially have to make edits to the code to do that. So for now, I'm going to use the button as the conversion just because we're having trouble getting to the actual, getting the Facebook event pixel manager to pop up on this second page. And I think that's just because you can see the domain has changed to a subdomain of Kartra. I think I was calling it Kartra. And that's causing the issue because it basically looks like it's leaving this website to another one. All right, so we have our pixel set up. Initiate checkout. And then let's refresh that and see if we can get the add to cart as well. There it is. So that's if they click the exit button, that's add to cart, which actually should be initiate checkout. I wonder if I can edit that. Manage event. No, it doesn't look like I can edit that, so that's fine. All right, so let me go back to the ad set now. Actually, I can just close this out. This is the old page. Here's the new one. All right, so I want to show you another trick where, well, let me show you the ad. So the ad, we've actually run multiple images. Well, we've run multiple images and videos in these ads, and we also run multiple primary text, right? We're testing out different text. And I want to show you how you can actually see which one's working better. So what we do is, let's set it to lifetime to make sure we're getting enough date range. And then if we go to breakdown, we can go to by dynamic element, meaning it's changing, and we can check our text. And now we can see that, and then I'm looking for click-through rate, like what's our highest click-through rate? So I'm going to sort this by click-through rate, and our highest click-through rate is this text here. Do you manage a sales team? Discover how to walk the tricky balance, right? So this is text that I wrote based on language used on the landing page. I wanted to catch people's attention, like, are they a sales team manager? That's our target. So I said, hey, do you manage a sales team? You know, if I'm a donut maker and I see an ad that says, do you make donuts? I'm going to look at that ad. So that's why we did that. Actually, I do see a higher percentage on this one, but it's only had one click. And what scares me about that is it's only been shown 11 times, where this has been shown 3,000. So I don't necessarily trust that data. I don't trust any data that hasn't shown it over 1,000 times, right? So kind of the saying is you need something to show or be visited 1,000 times before you can really get a determination of split A/B test or click-through rates or optimal conversion rate, etc. So I'm going to stick with this text over these other two because it seems to be performing much better than the other ones. Let's see on that ad. So again, low rates on that, although a little bit lower on that ad itself. Okay, so we're going to go with this ad and this text as the ad that's performing the best. Again, this is set to Campaign Budget Optimizer, so Facebook is going to show the one it's seeing perform the best, that it's seeing people land on or stay on the longest or click through, that's getting the best conversion result, right? Which is landing page views. So we're just going to duplicate this ad and text when we set up the new campaign. All right, so let's open it in a new window just so I can copy from the other account. Let's go to that client. All right, so I'm going to create a new campaign. And this is going to be a conversion campaign. I'm going to go ahead and name my campaign Culture of Sales Conversion Campaign. The ad set, and I'll name these later. So I can hit continue. Here's our new campaign. Again, 3 different levels, right? Always. So we're at our campaign level. So this is where we control our name, sometimes our budget, and definitely our goal. So we've already set our goal as conversion. We're going to go ahead and set up campaign budget optimization, which is going to allow Facebook to use multiple ad sets or multiple ads and deliver the ad sets or the ads to the or pick which ad sets and ads to use to get the best result. The daily budget is, so we're going to use the daily budget of the original one. So if I go back to the original campaign, I'm just going to mimic this. The daily budget is 20 here, so that's right. So it's 20. And that's all I need to do. It's not a special ad category, so it's not credit, employment, housing, elections, politics, etc. Again, I always like to check out additional options to see what other options I have, and I'm going to hit next. Okay, new ad set name. We're going to name it, my best practice is to name it the audience that works the best. So let's take a look at the old campaign and now determine which ad set's working the best. And then we can decide, which one of these to duplicate. So much higher click-through rate on the match lookalike audience, which is typical. Let's see if we can get any other data. So, and a lower cost per landing page view. So this audience is obviously working the best, so we're going to reuse this audience. So let's call this, now I've gone to my new ad set, match lookalike audience, yep. And let's choose our conversion event, right? So this is that pixel we just set up. So our pixel is going to be initiate checkout. This event hasn't been set up in your domains. Once Apple begins enforcing their ad sets using this pixel and optimizing for initiate checkout, we pause unless you change your available events in Events Manager. So this is a new thing. You have to verify your domain. So we'll take a look at that. For now, I think it should work because I don't think they've implemented that. So we will start. We'll take a look at that when we need to and try to verify that domain, because it's weird because we have to do Kartra. So I'm not sure if that's going to work. Again, another benefit of running Duda, because you can fully control your domain names and landing pages, etc. All right, start date is good. So we're going to match this audience. So it was a customer, cultural sales customer, and the lookalike. And honestly, this is a list of like 500 people, right? And this is, if I look at audiences, this is probably like a typical 1% match in the United States is 2.3 million. So when this is delivering, it's going to completely overwhelm this audience by delivering to this audience, right? So if we really wanted to see which one performed best, we could, in fact, let's do that. I'm going to take this out. I'm just going to make this the lookalike. Because now we can actually see the lookalike and the original audience, which performs better, because they actually do want to run ads to the original audience because it was a lead list. I'm not going to do anything with age or gender because I've already got the lookalike should figure that data out. I'm going to reach people I'm going to allow detailed targeting expansion, let Facebook reach additional people. And I'm going to do automatic placements, let Facebook put it wherever it thinks is best. I'm not going to apply any filters or exclusions. All right, I'm going to hit next. Oh, one thing I did want to check is I want to make sure that I'm getting the right pixel because I created both of those. And so I'm going to go to Events Manager, and you're probably going to have to, you're going to have to resort it by. There's our pixel, and initiate checkout was the one I wanted. So let's make sure that's the one I used here. Initiate checkout, yeah, and I'm gonna hit next. Now I don't want to create the second ad set, right, with that I want to test until I finish this one because I'm gonna create the ad here, and I don't want to recreate the ad twice. So this is gonna be, oh, wrong window. I'm going to leave this tab in between these because I have been known to accidentally adjust like a live campaign when trying to copy it. All right, so we know this ad performs best. So we're going to say video ad 8. I'm going to call this video ad 8. And we're going to use the Culture of Sales Instagram account. We are going to use a single image or video. And we're going to add media, add video. And we're going to go ahead and grab this. It's already uploaded and hit next. We'll do a square video. I'm not going to crop that vertically. And then I'm going to use the text that I know was working with this video, which is this text. Headline was the title of the book. And then the description, I'm going to add that as well. All right, the website URL is now going to change to this. So I'm going to create a UTM code. So you just go to UTM code generator. And this is how you append information to URLs so you can track it in Google Analytics. So the GA Dev Tools is Google's UTM code builder for Google Analytics. And you can, I'll grab my URL and just copy it, paste it here. And then this is a partner account, so I'm going to enter their name, and it's going to be Facebook, and it's ad number 8. And I just put it at source, and you can see that there's my URL right there, and there's the, there is the UTM codes right there. So it's basically saying UTM, universal, I forget what UTM means. It probably says that somewhere on this page. But it's just the tracking. So it's going to say the source is Newsevara FB8. So if you go to your source in your Google Analytics now, you'll see it's coming from Newsevara Facebook 8, that traffic or that conversion. All right, so it's a great way to help my partners tie back the results of the campaign to their to these strategies for their clients. All right, so let's put that URL in there so we can get rid of that error. Click out of there, let that take, and then let's do a double check. And then I'm going to leave it as learn more versus shop now. And I'm going to publish this. You could put the URL parameters there too. I always put it in the URL itself, just to be sure. Because I have put it there before, it didn't work for some reason. Probably my user error. Okay, so that's publishing. Now, let's take a look at, so I'm going to exit. I'm back at the old campaign, and I want to take a look at the old ads and see, it looks like that video is performing the best overall. Let's look at impressions just to make sure. So yeah, these have generated enough impressions to determine whether or not they're going to perform as well as the video, and they're not even close, right? So we're just going to run with that one ad, and we're going to run with that one text. So now we know that ad and that text works, okay? So I can actually shut this campaign off because this campaign is now pending. That's the traffic one is going off. and I'll leave that. I'm not going to delete it. I'll just leave it there. Now I'm going to go back into, I can close this out, and I can close this out, and I can close this out. I'm going to go back into the new ad campaign that I set up, click on that, and now I'm under ad sets, right? And I'm going to duplicate this ad set. And I'm going to leave that as is. The only time I would uncheck this is if an ad's been running for a long time and potentially you've had a lot of comments or reactions and maybe some of them were negative and you don't know if you filtered them all out, so you don't want to, reapply those negative comments under your ad to the new ad. So you could just uncheck that and get rid of this, although I don't think this one has any comments. Or this was just started, so it's not going to have any reactions or comments. All right, so now I'm in lookalike. Now I'm going to make this the match audience. And again, I'm doing this because the lookalike is so big. If I ran the lookalike and the match as into the same ad set, the match would never show. Again, it's giving me that conversion event warning. That's fine. So the only thing I'm changing here is the audience to the original formatted audience. And I'm going to leave everything else the same. And then hit publish. And you can actually force some of the spend on this one. So why don't we, so ad spend limits. We can set some ad spend limits and we can make it at least spend, let's say $5 a day on this ad campaign. That way we know it's not gonna, the campaign budget optimization is not going to overwhelm us with the lookalike audience. It's going to definitely give some money to the match. And then we can actually come back in and make sure which one is performing better and pause the other one. Okay? All right, great. So that is now set up and published. So just to recap on what we've done, we had a traffic campaign running on Facebook that was targeting conversion or landing page views. We had the pixel set up on a Kartra website to track landing page views. We ran the ad for about a week and we got tons of traffic. We got 0 conversions. So we went back in and looked at the landing page. We made some edits to that. We set up the pixel. We made sure the new pixel was on the new landing page, or the pixel was on the landing page. And today we went back in and created a new pixel event for conversions to track if people click through to the checkout page. We set up a new campaign using the audience that was working the best under the ad set and the ad copy that was working the best, running it as a conversion to track those initiate checkouts. And then we actually created a secondary ad set to break out the original match audience and the lookalike audience to see which of those performs better. And we set a minimum spend on the match audience to make sure that delivers, because it's only 500 versus the lookalike, which is like 2.8 million people. All right, that's it. So now we'll wait and see how this does and hopefully get some great conversions for this client.